Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I'm Wiley, your favorite information scientist in training. How y'all do? It's my Wednesday wrap up. I can't tell you that I haven't done podcasts. I have not uploaded. I have at least 2 or 3 episodes that I have made and recorded and have yet to upload. Mostly because I was busy with writing and rewriting and submitting and meeting with my committee in terms of my revision work for my dissertation proposal and other. It's also the collaborative meetings that I've had for my other research projects. So I'm doing a research project in the sense of my actual dissertation proposal, and I'm also working on other research ideas that I'm turning into uh, publications or planning to talk about. So this season of my life is Wiley the writer. That's where I'm at. And I submitted. I had a meeting on the 27th with my committee. And one of the things I've had to experience as a doctoral student is getting used to, I write for comments and you get constructive criticism. There are no one and dones, uh, not at least until they call me Dr. Wiley. There are no one and dones in these meetings. So, and also realizing my own writing process and how I've been writing my dissertation proposal since the summer, but it wasn't the full fledged document until probably October. And when someone says, well, what's the full fledged document? I mean, it wasn't the introduction, the problem statement, the literature review, the theoretical framework, and the methods, which are basically the first 3 chapters. And for the preliminary exam, you defend your proposal. You're proposing to do research and you're sharing your plan for it and your timeline. You're also sharing, like, how did you come across this idea, or this thought, either in actuality or it could be conceptual work. You also talk about, well, what's the problem that you see, and from this problem, what research questions will you study, and from that you talk about all of the literature that supports that and the significant gaps. Um, and then you also talk about the theoretical framework that grounds your research question and what is your method or methods that you will be using to apply to these research uh, questions. And in my case, my field is race, digital studies, intersectionality. And for me, I started with this quote. It says, we give things meaning by how we represent them, the words we use about them, the stories we tell about them, the images of them we produce, the emotions we associate with them, the ways we classify and conceptualize them, and the values we place on them. And that's by Stuart Hall and it was written in 1997. And I'm interested in examining Black, queer, and trans men's information practices with their online environments and daily life. And if you say, well, how did you get interested in that? It's because I had this experience in this group of really enjoying my time and the brotherhood, the friendships, the community that was created out of that. And it made me curious to find out, were there other groups? Or did other Black trans men use these groups or participate, not necessarily use in a negative connotation, but participate in these groups in a way that is positive, in a way that is helpful? If so, how? If not, okay, cool. Well, what platforms do they use? What types of information resources are they seeking? How do they function in their lives? Does participating in these groups influence, impact their everyday life, or impact their social behaviors online and in everyday life? And I wanted to know. That's what I'm seeking to know. And Is that is that an area that I've ever done research in before? Nope, because most of my experiences as an academic librarian have been about engineering faculty, data, engineering graduate students, postdoc students, data management, which means how do you document, backup, store, organize your information. And that's totally okay. So that's fine. The issue is not that it has to be the same thing as my day job, but it's just learning to communicate this area within information science. So that's been a new experience because I've never written a dissertation proposal before. There's some similarities in the writing process to writing a peer-reviewed publication, but then again, it's not that. I've also dealt with my emotions. You say, what emotions? I wrote my narrative 10 times and had to change my advisor. So writing and rewriting brings up the question, is this the same experience? That's just the reality. And that's not shade. I'm not trying to say anything negative about the experience. That's been the journey that I've been in. So as you're writing and rewriting, you're really looking at yourself and asking, what is the goal here? Am I making progress? You sure? Because how do you measure progress? Because it's not in the sense of like a tangible task that's done immediately. It's not. It's done over time. You write for comments and you go meet about them, and then you get the comments, and then you go back until they say that this document is good to go. And that's what you do. And there's not a way to really measure that this happens in 6 days, 7 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Everybody's experience is different. And it's also, you're not talking about just me writing for the 2 people on my committee, or not necessarily for them, but writing this document. There's 4 people in the committee. So that's 4 different people who have lived and see the world in completely different ways, who have experiences in their own field, years of experiences in their own field. So the way they read a sentence, what they take from it or not take, is not going to be universal for all of those different people. So that's what you're facing, or that's the experience of becoming Dr. such and such. And that also varies too based on your institution, because institutions have different requirements. So what they require at the university I'm at might be different compared to someplace else. So, and then you're living your day-to-day life, and you have your life, you have your family, you have, life's on all of us. So you have all of that going on while you're trying to pursue your goal. And so whether your goal is to be Dr. such and such or in a graduate program, you could also be facing similar type experiences, and you trying to run a business, you trying to be a mogul, you're working at wherever you're working at. People have so many different types of experiences that they face. So there's some I guess some shared experiences, and then there's some places where it differs completely, or it could be that that's not that at all. So you're dealing with that as you're writing. And then I'm having the experience of questions about, well, with the administration that we're currently under, and different executive orders that come out, how will that affect the population that I'm studying? Will my institutional review board consider my participants vulnerable population? And I do not know. And I think that's the biggest thing too, when you think about a lot of the executive orders, or a lot of things that are coming out day to day. It's literally like changing minute to minute, millisecond to millisecond. Is there no long-term, there's no answer to say that people know how this is going to impact them. They do not know. I literally went to the faculty meeting and they were talking about that. And while they have task force and they have people that are working on it, there are no immediate answers to that. And you also have to think about the context of information. The fact that it's not, the fact that it's fluid, it's constantly changing, regardless, whatever it is that we're talking about. So you're dealing with that. You're dealing with the fact that people have different ideologies and beliefs about people. Whether it's true or accurate, that's another show. But you're dealing with that. And you also having to answer that, because as I've been working on revisions, and I was really talking about different laws. Well, since this administration, I have things to add that are like, well, this was true in 2019, 2020, and 2021, or maybe even 2022 and 2023. But today, not so much. Yet in reality, when we're talking about Black, queer, trans life, what does safety really mean? What does freedom really look like? What does liberation look like? And the pursuit of it is varied depending on person to person, mind to mind, spirit to spirit, heart to heart. So, and when I'm doing this work, it's not because I'm seeking to be exploitive in any way. It's because I really do care, because I really do believe our lives matter. Whatever our information practices, whatever digital platforms we use, or even if you don't use online resources at all, I want us to get to live long lives in whatever fashion and form that is. I really want us to be able to live to 88, 98, and 100 on your terms in the way that works best for you. So when you're out here writing, you're out here dealing with all of those thoughts, and it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with that. And then you're looking for people who look like you in the field. And I don't know many people, not completely. Some parts, yes, some parts, no. And then when you say information science is the study of how people use, analyze information in text and print, socially, technologically, um, systemically, conceptually. I know friends that are studying surveillance technology in Brazil. I know friends that are studying art as information. I know people who studying examining Black teens' experiences in public libraries. I know people that are evaluating um, educational technology like Chat GPT and many Research Rabbit and many other technologies that people are using to write their papers for class, for work. I know people who are studying race in public libraries. I know people who aren't studying those topics because they're not interested in it, and that's totally their their choice. They're people who are examining online behaviors in fan communities, people who are studying sports, people who are studying information shopping, not information patterns and behaviors when you're talking about shopping. And that's not necessarily related to information science, but they are talking about like how you build grocery stores in communities. Who gets to have a grocery store, food concerns. So I've met people that study a whole wide array of things. So it's an interesting experience. But that's all I got. But that's my update. I am writing and rewriting, and I am in my literature review. If you ask me how it's going today, it's a very messy process. It's literally like I put everything together that they commented on, and now I'm trying to reduce it. I'm trying to edit it and well, not edit it. I basically have it all together, and I'm trying to clean it up, and then I have to remove the repetition from it as well as reduce it because it was too many pages. So you see the progress that I have made. I have revised the introduction. I have totally revised my problem statement. And now we're at the literature review. So, yay! I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna turn this music on and get back to writing, but that's my update. Is this what they told me graduate school was like? No, this is not what I thought that it was. It was not, but this is where we're at. The classes, I missed the classes because you did the assignments and you got the grade. This is not that. You got to write for comments. So I wait for the feedback from my committee. And I also had to sit in the fact that in my experiences that yes, it was true that I was addressing their comments, but I was not going back to refine the document and see if it still fit. I I guess I was thinking they would tell me rookie mistake. I don't know. Um, but that's the writing and rewriting. You go back and you read through it again to see if it still makes sense. Perfection is not the goal. Done is the goal. And who says done? They do. So I hope that in all of you doing that you're doing okay, that you're hanging in there, whether you're pursuing your goals of just living your life every day, or you're continuing your education, or you just trying to make it moment to moment, millisecond to millisecond. I believe in you. I think you're amazing. Never forget it. Peace. Thanks for listening. I'm out.